Hi Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. So I just want to say a massive heartfelt thank you and a warm sending all my love to all of you guys who have sent healing wishes and vibes to me. I have absolute surety and confidence that it is really helping because I'm already healing up really nicely, which is fantastic. So thank you so much. With that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So this week for the key to the week was the Death card, and this card came up a lot. If you've seen the March readings, this card was actually the card that came up the most in all of the readings, and it was in various different forms in various different decks, and a lot of them a lot of the Death card came up in the third week of March. So I'm wondering if that's obviously a lot to do with what the current climate is. So your Death card, whenever we see the Death card, right, what this reminds us is that sometimes that we are presented with things in life. Sometimes we're presented with decisions. Sometimes we are given a glimpse into something. Now, if you look at this, there's this sort of skull-like figure holding a baby, right? And what's the reminder here? That all things are born, grow, they live, and then they eventually perish and they pass on. The eyes in the background here are to remind you of the experience that is gained, and the experience and the wisdom that is gained through every single life that passes through the world and through every incarnation that we ourselves pass through. Whenever we go through a death or an ending or a completion of some sort, we gain wisdom, we gain knowledge and information. And this week, I mean, very often, sorry, I'm tongue-tied there. Very often when we see the Death card, we're about to be presented with a choice to either let something go and, you know, take its natural bow out of our lives, or suffer the consequences which lead to the Tower. This week, Aquarius, in some way, shape or form, you're going to be asked to release or let something go. Obviously, the choice is completely yours. It's up to you what you do with that and what it looks like to you. So let's have a look at our cards for the week. And this week we get the Queen of Swords for your actions and your path ahead. So this is interesting because your Queen of Swords would be an air sign woman, Aries, Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. Now, for me personally, whenever I see the Queen of Swords, we're being reminded that sometimes we need to fight for something. Sometimes this is, and it looks like this week you might have to fight to have something released or something let go. It might be that you have to remove yourself from something by having a tough conversation. The Queen of Swords is always ready and willing and able to have that difficult conversation, to go to war for something. And very often when you see the Queen of Swords, it's a reminder that you need to speak up, that you have to speak your truth. One thing about the Queen of Swords, she's got a mouth like a sewer but a heart full of gold, and the beauty of her energy is she's very, very fair. Aside from everything, like if she's got a problem with you, you will know it. If she wants to stand up for you and defend you, she'll be the first person to rush to your defense. But this is in your actions and your path. So this is about what you're doing. This is about you standing up for something. Maybe this is about a decision that you've already made or a path that you're choosing to take. This is about you standing up to be counted this week. For your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Cups. And when it comes to communications and conversations, it's interesting because your Queen of Swords is saying go all in, say what you got to say, have the conversation, right? You know, make waves if you have to. And then the Page of Cups is saying, yeah, make those waves, but let's smooth the edges off of this. How do we say what we need to say, but from a place where people are going to understand us, from a place that's actually going to make sense? And ultimately, it does look like this week there's a few things. I feel like some of you may be called in to mediate. I feel like there's going to be a situation that arises this week where you're going to be called in because yours is the voice of reason, because yours is the voice that is able to say what needs to be said without causing a riot, right? Because, well, because of anything. It could be, you know, a million different reasons. Your communications and conversations this week, I feel like you're the one that's being called on because you are able to put your feelings to the side. So it looks like you might be, you know, maybe playing a little bit of piggy in the middle. Maybe there's a situation that is about to come to a sticky end and you're being called into it because you're going to be the one that says, look, you know what, let's look at the facts here. How do we proceed in a way that's going to be beneficial or easy or easier for everybody? There's a lot of love between the people. That's the feeling that I get from this. Whatever situation you're being called into, there is a lot of love there, but there's also a lot of sticky and possibly messy feelings in there as well. So this week, just consider that, you know, I mean, we don't always have to get involved. For your money and materials, you have the 9 of Wands. So this is a card for you to speak up. This may be where somebody is expecting you to assume a responsibility that isn't your own when it comes to the finances. This, interestingly enough, this and the 5 of Pentacles can see you being out of pocket because of some sort of injury that you've suffered. And I'm laughing because that's kind of my situation right now, right? So it's interesting, you know. I haven't obviously been able to make as many videos as I wanted and all the rest of it. So very, very interesting as an energy. But going forward, what this kind of says is this is a week for you to think about your money, to think about your finances. You've got to pay attention to them and look at where maybe you're wasting money or where it is maybe that you're bleeding money for something. When it comes to the work environment, this 9 of Wands kind of suggests that maybe you're having to do something different for work, or maybe you're considering that you're not getting what it is that you're worth. This is a week, because your 9 of Wands falls right over that Queen of Swords, to speak your truth. If you don't feel like you're getting paid what you're actually worth, or what what you should be getting paid, this is the week for you to speak up. Do it as the Queen of Swords. So go in and make that connection to say, you know what, I want to talk about my salary, but come through the guise of the Page of Cups. Right, because if you do that, if you sort of appeal to the feelings rather than sort of go in like a jackhammer and start using brute force, you'll get more out of it. This is it's going to be an interesting week for you guys, for us guys, for sure. And then finally, we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups has come up a lot across the board in various decks. She's come up a lot when it comes to the family, when it comes to the familial and the love and the relationships. She's been in this position for, like, I think at least 40% of the signs, which tells me that there's a lot of family bonding going on right now, which is great, because that can never be a bad thing. Obviously, in response to this whole C19 thing, everybody's spending more time indoors, or maybe more time at home and together, right? What I love about this is it's creating an energy of us being able to really nurture and re-establish the love in our relationships. What it also has the potential to do is make everybody feel like they're all sat on top of each other and we're all stepping on each other's toes. The Queen of Cups can sometimes go from mothering to smothering. So just think about that this week. For those of you that are single, this week I really feel like you're asking, or maybe you're presented with somebody that says to you, you know, especially for those of you that are single and maybe seeing somebody, it looks like they're going to ask you for more of a commitment this week. And if I'm completely honest with you, I'm not 100% sure that you're there for it. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with them. It just seems that you're questioning, am I really in it? Is this really my person? Is this really going to be, you know, the person that I'm with for the next foreseeable or for the future? For those of you that are partnered, same. It really does look like you're asking some of those bigger and broader questions. Is this the right one or place for me? I want to put another card over that 9 of Wands. All right, so we've got the Knight of Pentacles. All right, so not necessarily too bad. It does look like there is a way out of whatever financial issues that you might have been dealing with or facing. It kind of does suggest with the Knight of Pentacles, for some of you, it looks like your work is about to change. I don't know whether this is the job, whether you're looking further afield, or maybe you're looking to increase your hours, or to, you know, to get more of a yield out of what you do for work. But it does look like you are able to do so. It just, because you've got the Knight of Pentacles on the Nine of Wands, you've got to take it slow and steady, especially if you're on the mend. So I will take that personally as well. You know, there's no point in doing yourself an injury so that you're out even longer. All right, with that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.